Welcome back to another Rec to Resto episode. It's been a few weeks, so we figured we'd do a bit of a recap on where we're up to with Jez's HGU project. When Jez was down here a couple of weeks ago, we started prepping this floor to be able to remove it. So I'll show you what we've done so far and also what I've got left to do to be able to get the floor out. So we're not taking the entire floor out from the front to the back. I'm going to do it in two sections. So where the floor joins along here, we went along this seam with the wire wheel to remove all the paint and everything and to expose where the spot welds were. We've gone through and we've drilled out all of the spot welds. As you can see over here, there's actually a little bit of rust in this floor that we'll have to repair. So there's a couple of little sections like this, but it's still in a lot better condition than what the one in the ute is. So we've started cutting this out. This has had a couple of floor pans put in here before, and it's not the best job. So we've actually got all new floor pans to replace these sections. But the main reason we want it is for this whole back section. So the rails, the fuel tank section is actually in really, really good condition. So that's the main reason we're using it. All this bit at the front is easily repaired. So I've started going through and I used the air chisel in a couple spots where I couldn't get the grinder in. Just to pop out the corners, and then I've basically cut through the rest of the areas that I don't need with the grinder. So next up is pretty well from where the rails are in is where we need the floor, and from the tubs out is basically staying. So this will all get cut through with the grinder. I'll probably do that on the hoist, cut it from underneath and cut this whole back section out as well. And then we can basically just drop the whole thing out. This section here, once I've got it out, I'm going to take it to one of the local blasters and I'll get them to blast it, take it back to bare metal, and then I'll bring it home and I'll coat the whole lot in epoxy before I put it back into the ute. So a couple of weeks back, we finished stripping the ute, getting it ready for blasting. I'll add the link here if you want to watch that. I've been asked a couple of times why we didn't swap it all out before getting it blasted. Time was the biggest factor with this because we had a bit of a deadline to be able to get the ute out of here and get it up to Perth to get blasted. And in an ideal world, it would have been good to cut it all out and do it and get the whole thing blasted and primed all at the same time. But yeah, I just ran out of time. I've let the blaster know that the floor is actually getting replaced in that ute, so he doesn't have to spend as much time on the old floor sections and blasting them and putting them in epoxy. So he can pretty well just go around all the edges where we're keeping and not worry about the actual floor itself. So that's the car stripped and it's ready to go. So for those newly following along, I actually started helping Jez out with this ute before we moved 4 hours away. So practically for me to travel up to Perth and work on it all the time, it just wasn't going to work and we would never be able to get any progress on it. So we made the decision to bring the ute down to Albany where we are so I could get stuck into it. The place where I got my ute and also my Prem blasted is located in Naval Base, which is just out of Perth. Because I have used them before and I trust what they do, the decision was made to pack the ute up and take it back up to Perth and get it blasted up there. There's a few other bits that I'll need blasting down the track, but they're just floor pans and things like that. So there's a local blaster down here that I'm confident that they can do all that. It's just all the big body panels and things like that. I didn't want them to get hit with the blaster because the chances of them getting damaged is pretty high. If there's anyone that's looking at getting a car blasted and that is up in the Perth area, I would highly recommend Stripped Bear. They've obviously done both my cars and they've done a really, really good job. So yeah, they are good at what they do and they can be a bit of a wait, but it's definitely worth a wait if you want to book in with them. So Jez has taken the car and it's been dropped off and we'll hopefully see it in early January. As soon as we get it back, we'll show you exactly what's left of it.